What is going on, everybody? How we doing? How we doing, guys? Welcome back to the Ace Casino, the place where it doesn't look like much of a casino right now, but that's because I just moved. Today we have our next guest, and let's see, how do I introduce you? Most people know you as a reactor. I guess to Marvel, DC, TV shows, anime, whatever's relevant, gaming. You do streaming now, on Twitch and Kick. You're very very busy man, and you guys know him as Akasan. Welcome, welcome, welcome,
What
sir.
up? What up? What up? What up? Today, I can just be known as the man who didn't get enough sleep.
The
So,
man. The man who
but
didn't
I
get enough
appreciate
sleep.
it. Great to be here in a nice new studio there.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's
Yeah, and a nice new background. Yeah, it's like it's like someone barely lives there. It's amazing.
it's
Yeah,
expensive. You know the real estate in Tokyo is expensive.
it's very expensive. Yeah.
First of all, I see the Venom Spider-Man
Oh yeah.
statue. I
Oh
see you
yes.
got that.
All 19 inches of venom, which technically he's only like 12 inches, but I'm like they count the whole thing as 19 inches. But I was researching. Akasan asking the real questions out here, man.
I
Does
just
venom add up?
I was gonna say I just started a game, Spider-Man. I think I started it like 2 days ago, and I forgot how good like a PlayStation made game can be when playing
Absolutely,
it.
absolutely. I mean, it's one of those things where you're just like, well, time to get on up and dust off the PlayStation
Right?
for the for the one game a year you play or something like that. Yeah,
I That's so true.
but when you play it, it's amazing.
Yeah,
That's the problem. That's the big
yeah,
problem. Yeah.
yeah. I played and I was like, you know what? Like sometimes in my mind, I'm like, I could sell this PlayStation. Then you play a game like Spider-Man, I'm like, nah,
Yeah.
nah.
Why would you? Why would you? Right? What are you gonna do? Wait 2 or 3 years and play it on PC? What you gonna play it on Xbox?
Hell
No.
no, hell no. All right. So the concept of the show, we have, I guess, 5 cards here. And
Okay.
I'm just gonna shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. You'll say stop, and depending on what card you pick, will be what we discuss. So yeah, I'm gonna just shuffle. Just let me know. Just stop me, and then we'll see what we have.
All
I'm the worst
right.
shuffler.
Yeah, I was about to say, like,
I'm the worst.
do not send this man to a casino, man. All right, stop.
All right. So we have the Queen of Spades. The Queen of Spades.
Queen spades.
All
Okay.
right. So before I press record, you were discussing about wedding plans.
Hmm.
For those who don't know, you're getting married. Is it this year you're getting married?
Next week.
Next week.
Next
Jesus
week.
Christ.
Yeah.
God
Yeah.
damn.
Hints.
Even
You can't
God
can't
damn.
can't you see the excitement in my face? Can't you see
Damn.
how tired? Yeah, all this tiredness. There's a reason why my eyes are so bloodshot here. Yeah.
So in terms of like weddings, how long have you been planning so far?
Maybe 4 or 5 years. No,
Damn.
like so. I got backed into a corner here, like all great fighters. I got backed into a corner and was kind of given that ultimatum during before Corona and everything. It was
Mhm.
just like, yo, marry me or else, like that, right? And then I was just
Yeah.
like, all right, baby, I would love to, but yeah, let's do it. And then Corona happened. I'm like, thank you,
He's like,
Corona.
hey.
It bought me a good 3 years there, so that was kind of nice. That's the only good thing that came out of Corona was the fact everything was delayed. And you're like, yeah, baby, we could do this, but like pandemic. So yeah, we've been actually planning it for 3 or 4 years now, but
Yeah.
Finally, unfortunately, I have no more excuses anymore. The
Yeah,
borders are
yeah,
back open again. And then originally the ideal thing was gonna be to have it in Hawaii, but
yeah.
because the exchange rate is so terrible,
Right.
unfortunately, yeah, well, fortunately, unfortunately, we had to move it to Okinawa instead. So now instead of it being a nice little getaway, I'm going to be tour guide for about 2 weeks here for my family, flying into Japan instead. So it's not even about me anymore at this point. It's about like just giving a nice tour to my family for 2 weeks or so, and yeah,
So,
hooray,
you know
hooray, I
what's
guess.
interesting about that? Like, when people move to Japan or find an interest in moving to Japan, you always hear like they're trying to find a Japanese girl and get married and live a Japanese dream, some kind
Yeah,
of
I know.
amazing Japanese dream.
No,
It's not like that.
nope,
In terms of like planning for a wedding,
no.
your fiance is Japanese. How is
Correct.
that been challenging for you? Like, has it been challenging in terms of family, in terms of like different culture, in terms of like different ways that I guess maybe Japanese, plan their weddings?
No, not necessarily.
Mm.
I would say the bigger difference, or the biggest difference more or less, is the fact that her family is from more of the countryside and
Okay.
of Fukuoka and things like that, and so that's more of the difference, if anything. I think it's less to do with being Japanese and
Yeah.
more to just do with just being country folk, so to speak. There's like just little things that get a little difficult for me, because
Hmm.
I'm a big planner, and I like
Right.
to I like things being kind of organized and sort of strategic, and
Right.
have everything sort of laid out. But there have been a few instances where things are just kind of changed last minute,
Hmm.
or different decisions are being made without me even knowing. But then I find out last minute, I'm just like, well, okay. So at this
Yeah.
point,
Yeah.
I'm just kind of like sitting in the back seat, doing the best I can to kind of control
Right.
the situation. But
Right.
I think that's about it. The only other difference is in challenge is the fact that, again, my family will be flying out here,
Uh huh.
and they don't speak the language, so we have to
Right.
basically just I'm being a tour guide, and I'm gonna have to be taking care of them for 2 weeks, so it doesn't
Right.
really feel like a getaway or an escape, so to speak.
Yeah.
It's more just work, basically.
No,
So
I
yeah,
hear that. I hear that. 1 second. Let me just put my Ethernet cable in
sure.
because my connection is being very slow right now. Let's see the cable. Yeah, this is my PlayStation because all these games are fucking
Yeah,
200 gigabytes these days.
I have to say this new Google meeting thing looks much better than they used to have it.
Right? And because I
Yeah.
use I still use my student account, so apparently it's like unlimited time and shit. So I was like, all right,
Wow.
I'll uh,
Wow.
I'll definitely be using this. Yeah. So to just go back to marriage and relationships, did you? I guess like because people that don't really know you, I wouldn't say. I don't know how would I explain it. You're very good with women. I would say. I would say you're very good with women. Like in terms of
True.
being confident.
True.
Like if someone put you in a party and said, "Yo, go and speak to 5 women," I don't think you'd have an issue
No, not at all. Yeah,
doing
yeah.
that.
I'd have a lot. It'd be a lot harder speaking to 5 men, if anything. So
That
that'd be more of the challenge. Yeah, I think a few weeks ago, every time I've mentioned like with my people or just people that I'm hanging out with, when I say, "Oh yeah, I got a wedding coming up," and they're like, "Oh, whose wedding?" I'm like, "My wedding." They're like,
Right?
"You're
Right?
getting," yeah. They're always just like, "You're getting married," and then somebody, I think 2 weeks ago, I was hanging with some of the Shibuya boys, and that guy was like, "Yeah, you don't move like a married man. You don't move like somebody about to get
Mm,
married. Like you don't have this presence about you." But that's always part of the sort of Akasan persona, not intentionally at all. Like to
yeah.
to be clear, I don't intentionally try anything like that, but it's
Right.
just naturally the part of me. And
Mm,
even my Japanese friends, they're always just like, yeah, you tend to attract a lot of beautiful women around you. Like, not it's and they're like, they have other foreign friends, and it's like it's not that, it's something else about you that you tend to bring those kind of women around you.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, but it's not intentionally, it's just something.
Oh, I hope this thing is not.
But at the same time, it's not like I'm actually going around banging women left and right either.
Right.
So it's just more it's like the same idea of like a gay best friend or something like that without me
Mm-mm.
being gay. So it's kind of nice. So
Yeah.
I guess.
Do you feel like it's a difference in generations? Because I guess like this generation now, we're more social media,
Yeah.
and like the way we interact is really really different. We're in
Yeah.
communication with each other all the time, whereas maybe even when you first came to Japan, social media wasn't like as huge as it is now. There wasn't really a way to just communicate with women in your bed, like while you're in your bed in the morning you can just text
That's
women.
funny.
um
Um, Well, okay, so there's a few situations. There's a few things about that. I think that's what separates me a lot from other streamers or just online sort of personalities and things like that. Is like, yeah, because of my generation, because of my age. If you are a digital millennium child, someone who was born in 2000, the year 2000 or so, essentially we call them the internet kids, the internet
yeah,
age. If you were born after the internet started, generally speaking, as you mentioned already, your communication device was already a webcam or
right,
texting or something like that. So
yeah,
there is indeed a core ability that is being that's missing from social communication. Like
right,
my younger sister is a good example, as she is really really good at communicating via text. She seems to have all this personality when she's doing it, but the moment we meet in person, like this
yeah, I've
completely,
seen,
like, looking at the ground, not really talkative, things like that. And I think that's the core difference between the today's generation versus the older ones, is
right,
like they never had a chance to, they never knew what it was like to actually go and meet somebody in
right,
person, and that being the only way you could communicate with somebody. You're
yeah,
like,
yeah,
I'm really not trying to date myself here, but I still remembered when you had to call somebody and set a time to
yeah,
meet at a certain place, because if you didn't set up that time, if you didn't show up at that time, um you couldn't contact that
right,
person,
right,
because
right,
yeah, it's like, look, I'll be here at the mall at 3:30,
yeah, 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 yeah,
and that was it. Like, you're sitting there waiting for like 30 minutes for this person to show up, because there's no way you can contact them until they go back home or something like that.
right.
So
There's not even like a text message to say, oh, I'm gonna be late, or
nope,
like
there
until
there
you
wasn't
meet.
even that. Like, the best thing we had was probably like the pager, and like the
Damn.
beeper, and it was like, okay, and like you couldn't even give them you had to use code words like,
Uh-huh.
OMW or something like that,
Yeah.
on my way or something like that. So yeah, god damn, I feel old now. And
Uh,
then the other issue, I think the biggest difference is I think in general, a lot of Twitch streamers are a bit antisocial
Mm-hmm.
in person anyways,
Mm-hmm.
and are parasocial or something like that. Like they a lot of them tend to have a lot of ADHD or
Yeah.
some sort of like social quirks where they're not really, and I think even YouTubers are like that.
Mm-hmm.
A lot
Mm-hmm.
of YouTubers I've met are like this too, where they're not really themselves unless there's a camera on them,
Yeah, I
unless they're
agree.
live streaming. Like, there's certain people that, I'm cool with, but I literally have never talked to them when
Right.
the camera is
No,
off.
I
So
say the same thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know who this person is when there is no sort of camera and everything. Like
Right.
even like my so I think that's also a big difference is the fact that I'm definitely better when the camera is off,
Right.
um and able to hold a conversation and communication when there's no camera. When the camera is on, I
Yeah.
actually have to watch myself because I'm limited on what I
Right.
can or can't
Right.
say
Right.
like
Right.
that. So
Yeah. No,
there's
I
a
feel the
big
same.
difference about that. Yeah. So yeah, that's probably why I'm so bad at Twitch. So
And that, do you know what? I know I like hearing that is interesting because I feel like my generation and the generation that we're in now, and it's weird because I would feel like your generation and the generation before you and just a bit after you are kind of similar.
yeah.
Whereas with me, I'm born in 95, and I would
Okay.
say from like 90s babies and the 2000s babies were so different because I still
Oh yeah.
had a little bit of time where there was no internet and still kind of had that little bit of time of okay communicating with people in person, but then at the
Mm.
same time whilst I was growing up the internet and social media was starting to come
Oh
around,
yeah.
and we
Yeah.
was the first. I would say my generation was the first generation where as people growing up we grew up with the internet and had to navigate
Correct.
what we're doing, and I guess the generation before us didn't know how to teach us, so we had to
Correct.
teach ourselves what
Correct.
we're doing. And
Right.
then now it's like these kids look towards us as a way of okay, how do they navigate things like cyberbullying and
Ah.
uh, things like being exposed on the internet and
Right.
um,
Right.
just the way the internet
Well,
can be crazy.
no, it's interesting you mentioned that because like I remember there was that one particular rapper, I forgot who it was, but he was like, yeah, like and he's from my generation, and he was just
Mhm.
like, oh, he was like cyberbullying, just turn the laptop
Right, right.
off, just close the laptop. And for me, that made a lot of sense back then. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
what? Like, click, I'm off, like I'm done, I'm moving on with my life, right? But I completely understand in this day and age, somebody
Hmm.
growing up, that seems like your entire world there,
Right.
is getting crushed like that. For some people, like, if today Twitch ban my account or whatever, if somehow I got my Twitch account was terminated, I'd be like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
What's Kick doing now? Like,
yeah.
let me just move over here. Even YouTube, I would go as far as to say with YouTube, even if something happened with YouTube, in some ways I might be kind of relieved. I'm like, well, let me start over and like just
Right.
create another account. But for
Yeah.
other people, that's their entire life, that's their
Right.
entire personality, that's what they live and die by.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
just like, yeah, whatever for me. So yeah.
Yeah, can you imagine like some people their friendship group is through Discord.
Yep.
Like their whole friendship group is on
Yep.
Discord, and if you cut away something like Discord, it's like okay, what do you do now? You have no friends, you have no one to communicate with, no one to hang out with. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
that's
Yeah.
a crazy. Yeah, I'm glad I grew up in the generation I grew up in, but again, I have sympathy for the next generation because it's like I can't imagine just being born and the internet is just there. Like,
I think there's a way you have to navigate things a little better, but also, everything we do is catered now to the
yeah,
internet. Like everything needs, even playing games now. A
right,
lot of the games that are coming out, you need to constantly be connected to the internet and things like that. And that's just kind of the way, like, the arcade system, that's all gone. That social way of
yeah,
interacting, of playing video games, like, all of that is kind of gone now. It's all about doing everything online. And I think that, overall, I think there are good points about that, but
mhm,
there are things where, yes, you should try to sort of balance it out and try to have a bit more of a social life, because these are actual skills that
yeah,
are going to help you in the future, especially getting jobs and things like that. But at the same time, you can also argue that the entire landscape of uh careers
yeah, yeah,
is now more internet based anyways.
100%.
IT is the world, so
Right.
that's where all the money is. So,
100% agree. All right, let's go on to our next topic then. So, how
okay.
many cards do we have now? We have five. So, again, just stop me whenever. Ah, we have four. The queen is gone. Stop me whenever you're ready.
All right, stop. Hammer time.
Okay.
Woo, really
So,
dating myself. Okay. King of
damn,
Spades.
we
Yeah.
have the king of spades. The king of
Yes.
spades. All right. So, the king of spades. We are going to discuss about you about uh what I guess what would you mainly say that you do? Like, are you mainly a reactor? Or would you say you mainly stream? Like, how would you um
Um I'm mainly being broke. No,
no, I hear that.
no, definitely, the doing the reaction videos.
Yeah,
That's what most people kind of look to me for, and like, more reaction and commentary. I've always liked to say
right.
reaction, commentary, just reviews, things like that. People just want my opinions
Mhm.
on certain things, and not necessarily outlandish sort of stuff either,
Yeah,
or like, acting wild or crazy or anything like
yeah,
that. It's
yeah,
more or less just, they just want to know. Again, a lot of people nowadays don't really know how to formulate or conjugate a sentence,
right, right.
or conjugate a verb in order to let people know what they think about
Yeah.
certain things.
Hmm.
And I guess that's always been sort of my talent of the gift of gab, to sort of articulate how I feel.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, a lot of things that come out nowadays, I tend to get kind of bored by, or sort of like not so interested, so to
yeah,
speak,
yeah.
or it doesn't hit as strongly anymore. And it's a little sad about that, but I always try to keep it honest 100%, and just let people know what I think about something, or when that happens. So yeah.
Yeah, I think like a lot of people just want you to especially when they're watching something and they watch your reaction. I feel like they are looking for somebody to agree with how they think.
Correct. Yeah.
And that's what they're basically like they're watching to see, okay, in this scene, this is how I feel.
Yeah.
Does he feel the same way?
Correct.
And sometimes if you don't agree, then they, I don't know, go off on a tangent and lose their
Oh yeah,
mind. And
usually it's always like, man, this guy hates everything, like
right?
that.
How
So
dare you?
yeah, how dare you not agree with the same opinion that I had? You're like that. You suck. Like that.
Sadly,
So yeah,
the
unfortunately, yeah, we have gotten into this mentality that yeah, reactions or reviews need to be a lot of like yes men, hype men, things like that.
yeah,
And always needs to be positive. Where, I've always said, like, I've always said, like, just the world doesn't work like that. Not
right,
everything is going to be great, not
right,
everything you're going to be excited about. And so I always just try to, I'm not trying to downplay the creation of a product, but
mhm.
like, let's be honest about some things. Some stuff on Disney Plus isn't as hype as it should be, or amazing
Really
as it
isn't.
could be. And I try to reflect that as much as possible, you know. But at the same time, I will give credit where credit is due. Like, look, Insomniac, the latest Venom game, the latest Spider-Man game is great, but it
Right.
also has some faults as well. So,
Yeah.
you know, the character models are butt ugly. So it's like, you know,
Damn.
I'm just saying, you know, that's
I'll have
all,
to
you know.
I'll have to I'll be looking forward to noticing some of the character models then while I'm playing. I'm gonna be
Yeah, I mean,
looking.
it's just like, you know, like look, it's some great stuff that they're doing, but like, yeah, let's keep it
Mm,
real. Like,
mm,
there could be a lot of improvements. The final costume for one of the Spider-Man is ass, dude. So, you know,
damn.
it's like and but you know, it's through that stuff that we need to be honest, so we
Yeah.
can push. You know, let's not settle for mediocrity, and
Right.
let's push for a better product. And
Right.
you know, look, we're giving our money, most of us are giving our money to these sort of things. You know, they deserve, they expect our honest opinions so that they
Yeah.
can make a better product for the future. You know, the
No, it's
Spider-Verse is
true.
one of the greatest things. The Spider-Verse movies are some of the greatest movies I've ever witnessed.
Hmm.
And you know, there might be some faults, but overall they've made a great product, and I will continue to support that more and more, you know.
And that's
So
true. I agree. Even with the Sonic movies as well. I think the
yeah,
reason why they're so successful is because they listened when people said, "What the fuck is this character that you're releasing?" And they were like, "Okay, cool. We'll change it. We want your opinions." And they changed it, and the movie was good. Like I watched it
yeah,
just because I was like, "Okay, I know if something is bad or something doesn't make sense. Somebody's listening." And
absolutely,
there can be changes made. No,
absolutely.
totally agree. What do you think about remakes into like remakes of movies and also remakes of games? Are you a fan of? I guess it's mostly your generation, but strangely, my generation and even the generation after that is starting to have things being remade and remastered and redone. And what do you think about that? Do you feel like it's replacing the nostalgia of the old material, or do you feel like it's I don't know, what's the word? I don't, not giving it more spotlight, or um paying a homage to the older piece.
I think there are things like, you know, even just speaking of which, even the Insomniac Spider-Man 2
Yeah.
ironically feels somewhat as a remake of other Spider-Man games, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's taking a lot of beats and nods from other strong Spider-Man stories, so it's nothing is new, so to
Right.
speak. It's just more remade in some sense. You know, and I think there's a time and place for all of that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
one of the funniest reactions I've ever given where people were really upset was
I
in the
know what you're gonna
first
say.
game. No, so in the first
Okay.
game,
Uh-huh.
no. So in the first game, the first Spider-Man game, so spoilers and everybody, Aunt May is dying, and she ends
Mm-hmm.
up taking the devil's breath, or she ends up refusing the serum or whatever, and so she ends up dying on the bed right next to Peter and
Yeah,
everything,
yeah.
and he's in a Spider-Man costume, and then just the way they angle it is an homage to issue Amazing Spider-Man issue 400, I believe, where Aunt May dies exactly the same way. So it's the same
Damn, okay, I
position.
didn't know
Yeah,
that.
it's the same position, it's the same pose and everything. And so as a kid, that was a big thing for me. Like, that
Mm-hmm.
was a huge thing for everyone. That was the first time she died, and everybody thought she was gonna stay dead, if anything. And so for me as a comic book fan, my immediate reaction was like, oh
Yeah,
shit, that's dope, like
yeah.
that. But for people that don't know that back history, I look like the asshole, just hype, like screamed
Right.
and hyped up when Aunt May dies.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so people are like, why is he screaming? Why is he excited? This guy's a psychopath. He sucks. Like, what kind of reaction is that? You have some issues in your life. You really need to get counseling. I'm like, what the hell?
How
So
dare you be happy that she died? How dare you?
right? Yeah, like so people totally misunderstood it, but it was all funny. It was just funny to me because I'm like, well, okay, people don't read comics. Okay, great to know that. So but in terms of the original question about remix and things, I think there's a
Mhm,
time and place for a lot of that.
mhm,
I do feel that a lot of the times I feel like the some things are kind of out of place, like for example, like Final Fantasy 7, the remake,
yeah.
in some form or fashion I feel like I'm like, why did they make this? Like, I never played the original, so
Mhm,
I
mhm,
enjoy it, but I
yeah.
also don't like the fact that they're taking that same game and now milking it for like over
Right.
5 years or more,
Yeah, I have that problem too.
two additional discs, and like that's the only thing that it seems like they're putting all their heart and soul into, where the other Final Fantasy games seem to be like meh, whatever type of
Yeah.
situation, or the ones that I have a problem with is the where movies are being made just to keep the franchise
Mhm.
under the, so for example, the Matrix 4 was a huge example of like,
Trash.
yeah, exactly. Why that was a movie that didn't need to be made, but they made it just to keep it. Toy Story 4, I think it's Toy Story 4, comes to mind. Whatever the latest Toy Story movie is,
Yeah, I
I'm
think
like,
it's four.
yeah, this really didn't need to be made, but Disney made it because they need to make the movies to keep the franchise. Amazing
Mhm.
Spider-Man, arguably, Amazing Spider-Man is another situation where they made it just to keep the license around so it doesn't go back to Marvel.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Amazing Spider-Man too, but you could definitely see with the first Amazing Spider-Man with the first Andrew Garfield,
Uh-huh.
a great casting for him, but it was kind of just sort of thrown together just to sort of keep the franchise in Sony. So I think there's a kind of time and place for a lot of things, but some things just don't need to be remade. Some things need to let die. One of
Yeah.
those arguments right now in the entertainment world is the James Bond franchise is like,
Yeah.
is it really necessary to keep it around, to keep it going anymore? Who knows, right?
No, I agree. Especially like when there's controversy. I'm like, who's the next James Bond? It's like, yo, this
Ah.
movie is old. Like, you just stop the franchise. This is old.
Yep,
We don't
yep,
need it.
yep, yep.
In terms of, so you mentioned the Spider-Man, Marvel. I guess it's weird because I remember growing up with Marvel films like the original X-Men, Blade, Spider-Man, Hulk, and they were Marvel films, but it was different.
Yeah.
It felt special because I
Mm.
you'd never seen Marvel or these kind of heroes in the way that the original movies. Albeit some of them weren't that great. The first Incredible Hulk was
Mm.
the
Mm.
little
Mm.
trash.
Mm.
X-Men eventually, X-Men 3 was terrible, but
Right.
Marvel now, do you feel like after, I guess, Infinity War, do you feel like it's a bit overdone now? Do you feel like the stories that they're trying to tell are not as polished, or not as um like there's no construction, there's no when I watch Marvel movies now, I feel like there's no, I can't see where they're trying to build towards.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. I don't know. Like only Feige really has the answer for all of
Mm-hmm.
that. Like because I'm still waiting to see what Shang-Chi, what the end of Shang,
It's true.
that those end credits. I'm like, dude, are
It's
we ever gonna
true.
get back? Yeah. Like, what the hell happened to the beacon thing that's going on at the end of that situation? So it is a little strange, like what's going, like if like, and to be fair, I also feel like the pandemic screwed up a lot of things as well because
That's
like
true.
in game, so the MCU essentially not ended, but the in-game story ended in 2023.
Mm,
So at that time it was going to be weird anyways that we're jumping like at that time what was that, 4 years ahead of time
yeah.
uh in the future, and we're already at that point and we
Yeah,
feel
we'll
like
grow up.
nothing has actually happened yet, like nothing has actually really changed, and a lot
Hmm.
of that has to do with the pandemic. I don't know, but yeah, there's definitely doesn't feel like there's a lot of synergy or anything going on. The best that we've gotten is multiverse sort of stories, but yes, again, it doesn't really feel like it's anything is kind of coming together. But we also, in some sense, I guess, we don't have a well, we kind of have a Thanos. So Thanos was kind of like the glue to kind of keep
Yeah.
us all together for 10
Yeah.
years of like, yo, he's
Yeah.
coming sooner or later, right? And I guess in some theory that's supposed to be what Kang is going to be,
Hmm.
or He Who Remains, or King the Conqueror, or whatever. But even that has not really pushed the limit. So we
Right,
thought we
at
were going to
all.
see something with Ant-Man, and it was kind of there, but it's still like, I don't know, we don't have like that threat yet. So
Yeah, we're waiting for.
yeah, something is missing and they definitely need to fix it. But I also feel like the Disney Plus stuff has oversaturated the Marvel brand as
That's
well.
very
So
true.
it makes it feel less special. We got something really great out of WandaVision, but
Hmm.
honestly speaking, I think that's about it. That's about it. Like, I can't really immediately recall anything else that was just like, yo, this was like, some people like Loki, and I think a lot of people actually like Loki, so I guess that's something too.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
other than that, I don't know. I can't think of any like big significant pieces of Disney Plus entertainment, or Disney Plus Marvel entertainment that has really been significant to the overall telling of the MCU story. So,
Right, you know what I don't like about like recent Marvel as well? I feel like every character, they give a movie to every character, and I don't
Okay.
feel like every character deserves a movie or an origin story. For example, I think the Craven movie is from Sony and not Marvel,
Correct. That's Sony. Yeah.
but just
That's Sony just trying to make money off of their biggest franchise, the Spider-Man
yeah.
franchise. So yeah.
But even that, for an example, is like, just to give an example of like a character that I feel that doesn't need a movie. Um, for me, I don't mind watching a movie like Spider Man and seeing a character like Craven just in the movie. I don't know, in a couple scenes where he fights Craven, or just to expand the universe. And that's because when we grew up watching the TV shows, reading the comic books, these characters, sometimes they would have their own big arc, but the majority of time, like, people would just show up
Yeah.
randomly in 10 minutes. Spider Man
Robbing a
beats him,
bank. Yeah, yeah. Or
right?
doing stuff. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But now we
Yeah.
have like this whole. I have to sit down for 3 hours and learn Craven's story. Like, I don't care.
All right. Well, to be fair, Craven is just a byproduct of Sony's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
contractual situations. Like, they're just trying to figure out how they can make money one way or another. Like that. To be honest, they probably should just focus on just doing a live action Spider-Verse movie instead, or something like
Right.
that, and then have. But they unfortunately or fortunately, they had a lot of success with the Venom movies, and they're trying to expand even more through that. But I think Venom is obviously a lot stronger of a
Mm-hmm.
franchise, or stronger. Like Venom, I wouldn't say Venom surpasses Spider-Man, but Venom is similar to the Joker in terms of the
Right.
Batman franchise. Like, it can stand on its own even
Mm-hmm.
without the inclusion of the character it came from. So but yeah, Morbius, Craven,
Right. Mobius as well.
El Muerto, the pro wrestling character. Like, it's like it on a business side, I understand where Sony is coming from. Like, look, if they can make a movie and make money, there's a Madam Web movie coming out, and it's just like, oh my god, it's a little too
Yes.
much. Yeah, but that's a little different. That's not necessarily a
Right.
Marvel's
Yeah.
MCU thing. That's just a Sony. That's Sony being Sony at this point. Yeah.
No, I had that. Even like Moon Knight, like something like Moon Knight
Okay.
it was good, but I was like, does he really? Do we really need a Moon Knight series? She-Hulk as well. Like, I don't know if we need the whole She-Hulk series. Um, it is what it is. All right. So we have three more cards. So let's see. Let's see what we're gonna get. Again, my shuffling is atrocious.
Every day he's shuffling. Stop.
Hey. All right. So we have eight of spades.
Okay.
All right. So let's talk about when you came to Japan. How is Japan now compared to when you first arrived? In terms of, I guess, like the not even the tourists, the people that have moved to Japan. Do you feel like there's a difference between the ideology of people that have moved recently compared to when you first moved? Because I guess when you first moved, it wasn't like a trending thing to move to Japan. Whereas now I feel like everybody's trying to move to Tokyo and English
Right,
speaking
every
Tokyo and
goddamn Instagrammer. Yeah, so like everybody's coming here as a goddamn Instagrammer, a travel vlogger, or IRL type of person. Like,
right,
let's go
these
see the
streamers.
yeah, let's go see this little island of Tokyo, Japan. Like, yeah, something like that. I think yeah, there's a huge difference. Like, yeah, when coming at the time when I first came out here, people were really still thought Japan was China basically. So people were asking me to get bootleg stuff of like everything
Damn.
and like, yo, can you get me this bootleg movie? Like they just thought it was like China or Thailand and everything. So people were always under that assumption or they thought that like I lived in like this old like I don't know exactly washi paper, like no locks on the doors, and there were like ninjas climbing on the roof or something like that. Like they basically thought Japan was like especially Tokyo. They just thought Tokyo was more like what you expect from like Kyoto, like a Kyoto
Yeah,
temple or something like that.
yeah.
And little things like that. But even the job market itself, even when I first came here, English
Mm-hmm.
teaching was not a profitable business,
Mm-hmm.
but you could sort of live off of it, so to speak. Nowadays, that's just ridiculous. It's just like
Yeah,
it's not even something you should be coming out here for. Like
I
there
agree.
there are still people that come out here to do it. Come out here on the jet program or something like that. But
Yeah.
smart people, if they're going to come out here, they're going to do IT work or
Mm-hmm,
something
mm-hmm.
like that. And luckily, there are a lot of companies now that require you to, you don't even need to speak Japanese. You don't even
Yeah,
need to try to speak Japanese.
yeah.
You can just come out here and work. I had one, like 10 years ago, I had one friend who lived in Japan for a good 5 years or so. But he was doing work abroad. He was
Mm-hmm.
doing IT work, and so he just basically would his hours. He would wake up around 5 o'clock or something and just work,
Yeah.
American times
Yeah.
instead for his job. So yeah, the business market has changed, and I think the like recently now when I go to these networking parties,
Mm-hmm.
generally speaking, I rarely meet English teachers anymore
No,
because they
that's
ain't got
true.
no money anymore.
At
And
all.
yeah, the market isn't there unless you're working with kids, and a good amount of people don't know and don't like to work with kids for teaching.
Yeah.
So because that's where all the money is right now.
Yeah.
But they're mainly all in IT. But yes, again, it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. IT is not necessarily a very social job to
Yeah,
begin
that's
with.
true.
So
That's
a good
true.
amount of these people don't have any sort of social skills
Yeah,
anyways. And
yeah.
so yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
we working from home and
yeah,
because of the pandemic as well, it's easier to not
yep,
even have to meet
yep,
coworkers and stuff.
correct.
Um, yeah, in terms of like teaching English and people coming here, like I teach English right now, and that's like I wouldn't say I came here to teach English. My goal is to move away from teaching English because,
Correct.
as you said, English teaching you ain't making.
Nah.
When I see other countries like what they pay and what they actually give English teachers, like other countries give you a house, or some countries give you a car, or if you go to Dubai, they give you like a car, no tax, and
Damn.
there's benefits. In Japan, people, if yeah, they ain't giving you shit. They
And
ain't.
yeah, the sad part is it's getting less and less. Like there was a time where you used to be making like 4,000 yen an hour, which is those were the good days, the good
Shit,
old
I
days.
wish.
Now you know that you're lucky if you're making 2,500 an hour or something like that.
Right?
So and then if you're teaching kids, you might get a little bit more, but I've seen people offer me like 800 yen an hour, and I'm just
God damn,
like,
what?
yep. Yep.
No,
And
no,
I was
no, no,
like,
no, no,
yeah,
no,
I was
no.
like, nah, we're good. We're good on that. Thank you though. Yeah.
Jesus
So
Christ,
yeah.
800 yen.
Yep. Can you
Um,
imagine? Yeah.
yeah, I 800 yen an hour. God, that's not
Yep.
even a meal. Like I can't even
Nope.
go to ramen shopping.
Nope.
The fuck?
Yes.
Yeah. So, like when you first came, what kind of I guess people were in Japan in terms of tourists, and was there because I feel like now there's a divide a little bit between Japanese people and foreign people living in Japan. I feel like there's like a Japanese culture, and then on the other side, us foreigners have our culture of doing things,
Hmm.
and they haven't really like intertwined still.
Yeah.
And even when I came, so I like when I first came in 2019 before COVID, I felt like it was getting a little bit closer, and then after COVID, I was like, yeah, that gap is very far.
I kind of see what you're saying. I think I would say if I were like, it's hard to recall a lot of that because
Mm,
back then when I first arrived, there was like more of a language barrier to begin
yeah.
with, anyway. So, but as you said earlier, I've had no problem socializing with
Hmm.
people from all walks of life, so that's never been much of a problem for me. So, and so nowadays, it's easier. Obviously, it's easier for me to integrate with different, with just Japanese people
Yeah.
directly.
Yeah.
I don't show that side too much, but online anyways. But yeah, I hang out with just only Japanese people quite often.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I wouldn't say that I have any like close friends that are Japanese born in
Mm,
Japan. Like I
mm-hmm.
have some Japanese American friends that are my best friends.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But that's a little different. So the integration thing, I think is still a lot of it is just language based situations. But
Hmm.
I will say though, I personally think I don't know, but I think it personally it has like in, there's more English being used, and we're seeing more staff sort of
Yeah, I
grow up
agree.
that can use English on
Yeah,
a
I
daily
agree.
basis.
Yeah.
There were times where I had to break out the old dictionary quite often.
Damn.
The back in the day, it used to be this calculator, this little pocket dictionary that everybody would carry around and do
Oh, the
translations.
flip up
Yeah,
thing. I think I've
y-
seen. I think I've
yeah,
seen some of those.
yeah. So back in the day, we had to use a lot of those and use like these translators just to get anything done. Nowadays, though, like especially in Tokyo, you're up here struggling
Mm,
trying to speak in broken Japanese, and the people will
mm.
dead ass look at you and they'll be like, I can speak English
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I was at Kinko's last night doing something, and the woman was like, "Yeah, let's just use English. I think it's easier." I'm like, "Oh,
Damn.
okay, then never mind." Like that. So
Do you feel
yeah,
like people take advantage of that though? Because like some people coming to Japan, especially like that live here, I feel like some of them don't even try to learn because they rely on okay Japanese, but they know English, and English is the biggest language in the world. So do you feel like people
Yeah.
rely on it?
Well, okay, so in some sense, I think that's actually a good thing, to be
Mm-hmm.
honest.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Japan, the and I know some people don't like this idea, but look, at the end of the day, Japanese is a very minor language
No, that's
in
true.
the scale of things. So it's like, and that I guess has also been my own internal sort of struggle as well,
Mm-hmm.
is the fact that I'm like, why am I paying all this money to like learn this particular language that only a small amount of the world can speak or
It's very
whatever?
true.
And like I
Yeah.
generally like I've done almost everything that I've set out to do. Look, I've set up shop in Japan. I've been here for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
I've pounded a lot of putang and everything. I've like what else is or what do I need to learn Japanese for?
No,
Like
I hear that.
fluently, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
fluently, like
Yeah.
what it like when I was younger, yeah, those were my goals. Like, look, I need
Mm-hmm.
to do this so I can get this stuff. I need to get a better job or something like that, or to get a good job. But I see so many bilingual people and doing it. I'm just like, well, like i- it's not that big of a difference of like
No, it's
what I'm
true.
doing in my life and what they're doing in their life, and it's not
Yeah.
like it's really paid off. Like I always was under the assumption that if I was bilingual, like fluently bilingual, that I would be able to live like I would live in a big house or something, and I could
Hell
get paid.
no.
Yeah, I get paid mad money, but I see a lot of bilingual people not really making that much money. Like it's not that big of a difference anymore. So
Yeah, dude.
you
I,
might
I
as well just go into IT. Yeah.
I done a whole degree in Japanese, and I'm still teaching English. Like I
Yep.
don't use Japanese.
Exactly. Exactly.
So I hear what
Exactly.
you're saying. Alright, so we're coming towards the end, and
Yep.
the last card that we have is the ace card. So
Hey,
with the ace cards,
how
we
ironic. Yeah.
do, I know, right? We do a little, I guess not a challenge, a little fun. Have a little fun. So because you are a reactor of TV shows, movies, superheroes. We're gonna do a little ranking.
All right.
So we're gonna rank the best superhero TV shows in your opinion.
Ooh.
Alright,
Okay.
and so how this works is they're gonna give us two, and you say which one is the best in your opinion, which one you prefer. So I guess the first two are, and I closed it. Fantastic.
Perfect.
Alright, let me open that back again.
I'm gonna be honest. I bet half this list I probably never even watched it, but we'll see.
I don't know. I think we'll be surprised.
Okay.
Alright, let me share this again. I did see them come up as here. This is
Ooey foo foo. Ooey foo foo. Yeah.
why did I close it? Alright, best superhero TV shows. Alright, there we go. Cool rankings. I feel like I'm not gonna know a bunch of these. I haven't seen like stuff like The Boys and what's the other one with Omni Man? I haven't seen them. So uh,
Invincible.
Invincible. There we go. Okay, so our first one, Hawkeye versus Constantine.
Okay. I'm not seeing anything, by the way.
Are you not?
Hmm.
Let me share this. Oh, okay. Share this tab instead. There you go.
There we go.
Okay, you seeing it now? Okay. Hawkeye versus Constantine.
I personally am gonna go with Hawkeye because I've never seen Constantine
Okay.
outside of the guest appearances on the Arrow.
But I didn't even know it had a TV show.
Yeah.
She-Hulk versus Falcon and Winter Soldier.
I'll go with Falcon and Winter Soldier. I like She-Hulk, but I guess there was more concepts of moving forward with Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Okay,
So
I ain't gonna lie, I can't remember Falcon and Winter Soldier. I watched it, but I don't remember.
come on now, one world, one people.
I just remember the fake ass John Cena looking Captain America. I was like, okay, all
Damn.
right, guys.
Damn. Okay.
Crimson Arrow.
Arrow, yeah. You're like, come on
Okay.
now. Yeah, Arrow, man. That's bread and butter right there.
I heard Arrow was one of the old, like the OG
That was one of the best,
shows.
man. That was one of the best. I'm gonna go Heroes only because Ultimate Spider-Man is not really for my generation, but you know,
Okay.
I think legit what they were doing was good. Like good story, in general, good story, good writing for
Mm-hmm.
younger people. Heroes was just an epic cliffhangers and such. Like
Hey, Heroes takes me back. That's
yeah,
a
Heroes was one of the best.
damn.
Yeah, that was some pretty damn good television back then.
That really takes me back, Heroes. Where we go? Iron Fist and Stargirl.
The battle of mediocre here. But no, Stargirl actually was pretty good. Just
Uh,
Stargirl was good, but on a kind of a so-so network. So yeah.
anytime I think of Iron Fist, I just think of Marvel. What's the game? The mobile game, Marvel Snap? Is it Marvel Snap?
Yeah. Really?
Amazing game. That game, I love that game.
Okay.
Gifted and Static Shock. I don't know
Oh
either of these.
man, take a stand. That's so funny. That such an X-Men thing to say. Unfortunately, I've never seen any of Gifted, but Static Shock, obviously. Rest in peace, Dwayne McDuffie. Yeah, we're going with Static Shock.
Oh, it's Gifted the X-Men thing they tried to do
Yeah,
that got
that was
cancelled.
the spinoff.
I see.
Yeah.
Alright, obviously
Ooh,
Supergirl,
Battle of the
Superman, and Lois.
Kryptonians.
Mm,
I liked some episodes of Supergirl, but overall, Superman and Lois, the first season was phenomenal. So yeah.
okay. Alright, Superman and Lois. Cool. What we got next? Moon Knight versus the Defenders.
I'm gonna say Moon Knight had better production overall
Okay.
and stronger acting and cast. So yeah, Moon Knight.
Back in the Netflix
Yeah.
superhero. Batwoman and
Oh,
Invincible.
nah, yeah, we're going Invincible. Yeah, I didn't even watch Batwoman. So yeah.
What If or Harley Quinn?
Ooh,
I love What If. What If was such
that
a good show.
that's a hard one because we're going if we're comparing the two seasons, season one of Harley Quinn was phenomenal, but season one of What If was really good too. Man, I'm gonna go with What If. I think What If
Okay.
has a stronger staying power. Yeah,
I feel like What If the way they wrapped it up in the end was I wasn't
really
expecting
cool,
that at
right?
all.
Yeah.
Cloak and Dagger versus Batman Beyond.
We don't even need to question. We already know
I
where
know,
my
Kirk.
alliance is on that one. Come on now. Yeah.
Loki or Watchmen?
Ooh, ironically speaking, a lot of the people in wait, actually, is it Watchmen? No, sorry, I'm thinking about something else. Where a lot of people from that show are in Loki. Loki. I'll go with
Okay.
Loki. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Peacemaker, Spectacular Spider-Man.
Spectacular Spider-Man.
Damn, okay.
I'm not a big fan. I wasn't a big fan of Peacemaker, actually. Yeah.
Inhumans or Teen Titans?
Teen Titans, of course.
Teen
Yeah.
Titans, OG.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a little unfair to compare like like animation versus live action. But oh, interesting. Wait a second. Is Legion was Gifted not the same as Legion? Oh shit. But regardless, it really doesn't matter. Ooh, go green.
A decent Green Lantern.
That's
Kind of
hard
feature.
because it's like oh my god, this is really apples to oranges, but I will go with Legion on this one.
Okay.
Yeah, gotta give some
I
love to the mutants here.
X-Men show got it. Agents of Shield
Oh my
or
god,
X-Men.
yeah. Ooh, very difficult though, but because Agents of Shield had its had a strong run occasionally, and had some good stuff after the Winter Soldier movie, but X-Men Legendary, like, yeah,
I was
that's
about
like,
to say I heard it
yeah.
was good, but man, just for the theme alone, man.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Alright,
yeah.
so round of 16, Hawkeye versus Spectacular Spider-Man.
Spectacular Spider-Man, very
Alright,
strong story. Yeah, I feel like animation's gonna win out here. We'll
Legion
go with
Solo.
Legion here. Yeah.
Okay. What if or Moon Knight?
Ooh. Ooh. I think I walked away a little stronger with What If. Yeah.
Okay, I agree. I agree with that,
Yeah.
100%.
Moon Knight had its moments, but What If you were just like, damn, sometimes.
Yeah. Teen Titans Heroes.
T Titans, definitely bigger impact.
Superman Lois or
Ooh,
X-Men?
of course, X-Men, definitely better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the new one they're gonna drop to see if it holds up. Falcon Winter Soldier or Arrow?
That's hard because you're comparing like 8 seasons versus one
It's true.
mini season.
It's true.
Yeah, but Arrow, if we gotta compare, yeah,
Okay.
Arrow's winning, pulling off this one.
Invincible or Static Shock?
Ooh, difficult. Invincible. More people have talked about Invincible
I need
than
to watch Invincible. I really
Invincible
do.
is good. I mean, the memes and everything alone, yeah. Loki versus Batman Beyond, favoritism, Batman Beyond.
I was
So
about to say I don't think I need to. I feel like I
yeah,
know what's gonna win the whole
yeah.
thing.
Unfortunately, I feel uh, we'll go with Teen Titans. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Puffy Amiyumi theme. What
yeah.
if for Spectacular Spider-Man?
Ooh, ooh. Uh, man. So this is supposed to be like for me personally, or
Yeah.
okay. So I'm gonna say what if
Okay.
probably pulling out
Okay.
here because I've seen some of Spectacular Spider-Man.
Invincible or Batman Beyond?
Yeah. Batman Beyond has more of a impact, but Invincible is great.
Arrow or X-Men?
Ooh, damn, that's hard because these are like completely two different points in my
Yeah.
life. Like
Nostalgia versus
oh man, but Arrow is literally what blew the channel up on such a huger level, and I learned everything about editing and copyright problems around that time with Arrow. But yeah, at the end of the day, yeah, X-Men will stay around longer. That theme song, as you said, that theme song alone, and then when they
so
finally get
iconic.
to the MCU, so many people are
Oh
gonna,
my
yeah,
gosh. I need to
yeah.
hear the feed. They played it a little bit in Doctor Strange, but I need
But they also played it in Miss Marvel too. So yeah,
right, they did. I
yeah,
forgot
yeah,
about that.
yeah.
What if for Batman?
Ooh, Batman, yeah, Batman Beyond.
Yeah, I can really
Yeah.
tell the two finalists are Teen Titans or X-Men.
Mm. X-Men. Yeah, two
Alright.
different generations. This is so
Yeah.
unfair though. Yeah. So it's basically the battle of the 2000s animation
Right?
here. Yeah, the final
Batman or X-Men.
ooh, it's hard because both of them have recently been making a comeback. Both of them have been inspired have inspired other media as well. They both have legendary theme songs. One's DC, one's Marvel, one is the Code of the
Man,
Bat
this is
there. This
ultimate
is
like
hard.
best DC Marvel like
For
things that
real.
they've even released.
Oh my god, this is difficult. Like, I would have to say, in terms of animation alone and just staying power, I think, I think Batman Beyond, because I think
Okay.
the X-Men is great, but the animation does not hold up, and
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, it's very dated. But you can go back and look at Batman Beyond, and there's still a lot of things there, that stand up. Rest in peace, Kevin Conroy. So
Yeah, I heard with X-Men as well. I think some of the storylines that they done it's okay, but in terms of, if you go back and watch it now, it's super
yeah,
nice. Like you
it's a
can,
little hard, but Batman Beyond, you can go and still watch it, and it still feels pretty fresh,
right,
actually.
right,
So
right.
yeah.
All right, awesome. All right, so I appreciate your time.
My pleasure, man.
It was fun. It was good getting to know you more a little bit. Like we speak about it's as you said, like in especially with the streaming and just Tokyo in general, it's always busy. Like you're always
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Always
even when you meet
spending
up,
money. Yeah. Yeah. Even when
right?
you don't mean to spend money, you're out here spending money. That's the problem.
That's why I stay in my house. But yeah, I appreciate you. Guys, I will definitely be putting Akasan's channel in the description. So if you've never seen Akasan reacting, I would definitely go and check it out. Especially sometimes when it's some shows that you might think other reactors will like, this dude will let you know, hey, that One Piece, the One Piece
Uh,
episode, like I really respected that you saw it and was like, what the fuck is going on here?
it wasn't even that. It was just like I just didn't get it. Like I was just like, it was okay. I was like, look, it's okay, not great. I don't know much about One Piece, and I think that
Right,
was the biggest difference. And everybody was trying to gaslight it, saying like, yeah, well, my friend watched it and they just totally loved everything about it.
right.
You're the minority, Akasan. I'm like, not really. Like I don't know. Maybe if I am, maybe I am. But look, at the end of the day, I watched most of it. I'm still on the last episode, and I just don't have any like strong drive to finish the series. And and
Damn.
other people have come out the same way, and they're like, "Hey, man,
Yeah,
dude, I'm in the same boat. Like, I watched the first episode, I didn't really care for it. I'm
yeah, yeah,
good,
yeah.
so not that big of a deal. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay for people not to like things.
It's 100% is. And now look, what we getting? Dragon Ball babies, guys. That's where anime is going right now. We're getting.
Exactly, exactly. Oh, actually, you're talking about the other one where they were coming for my ass. The like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. The Gear 5 Luffy
Yeah, yeah,
or
yeah, 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 yeah. That was funny, dude. That was just funny. I sometimes I like to poke the bear. I like social experiments like
yeah.
that. Like, look, man, look. I ain't never seen One Piece. This is supposed to be the pinnacle episode. They're advertising it all around Tokyo right now as this is going to be the biggest thing, and I'm just like, this is peak. This is peak. So,
Right?
but meanwhile, another big YouTuber makes fun of it. His name is Sylvanus or some
Uh-huh.
Sylvanas, and he starts playing like all the Warner Brothers sound effects and Hanna-Barbera, like yabba dabba doo, and he's like, oh, this is great. Peak, peak. He's just making fun of it and everything, and like everybody's agreeing with him. So it's just kind of funny, dude,
Some
to see
people
that.
might feel that he's being serious. Some people are the
Yeah, right.
intelligence is not there all the time. But yeah, appreciate you for joining.
My pleasure, man.
You guys make sure you like, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to Akasan's channel. Comment down below what you thought of the episode. But yeah, thanks for joining, guys. I've been Ace of Shaq. We have Akasan. Peace.